News 9 is everywhere. This is News 9 Midday.
A big story out of Wheeling we're following closely this midday. A Wheeling police officer arrested for malicious assault. I'm Jessica Haberly. Bill Phillips has the day off. News 9's Chrissy Clutter is live now with the details. Chrissy.
Well, the officer was off duty when he was arrested by the Ohio County Sheriff's Department. He is now on paid administrative leave by the Wheeling Police Department. Jacob Skinner is charged with malicious assault. Now, according to a criminal complaint, Skinner punched a woman in the face following two other incidents in downtown Wheeling on Saturday night. The first happened at the Brewfest, the second at a downtown bar. The incident he was arrested for happened at a home in the Woodsdale area and involved a woman he had a previous relationship with. Skinner broke the woman's nose and fractured her face. She was taken to a local hospital. Wheeling's police chief says Skinner is now again on paid administrative leave.
As a law enforcement agency, the Wheeling Police Department recognizes the extreme seriousness of domestic violence. Having said that, police officers, like citizens, deserve a thorough investigation and due process. Since this is a personnel matter and out of respect for the investigations, we will be limited in what we say from this point forward.
And the chief did add that there is also an internal investigation within the police department. They also tell me that Skinner faces 1 to 5 years if he is convicted. Right now, he is free on bond. For now, reporting live in Wheeling, I'm Chrissy Clutter for News 9.
Thank you, Chrissy. And continuing coverage out of Weirton now after questions were raised about longevity pay for city employees. News 9's Alex Taylor joins us live now with those details. Alex.
Jessica, thank you. A press conference held this morning at the City of Weirton building by Mayor Miller addressing the issue of longevity pay for their newer employees. Now, what had happened was on August 13th, brought up at a city council meeting was that these employees were not receiving their longevity pay. It got a lot of media coverage, but we got the answers today. He answered our questions in regards to what is going to happen now. Now, what is supposed to happen is that these employees have supposed to have been given longevity pay increases every month, but since that hasn't been happening, that's because the former city mayor sent out a memo, and it wasn't amended by city council. The memo said that they were going to retract that longevity pay, but that's not how it can actually be done. The city council has to amend that ordinance, and per the ordinance, that was not done. So those employees will receive their payment that they are owed. It only adds up to about $150. We will be visiting more information from Mayor Miller later tonight on News 9. I'll have that full story coming up for you. But for now, reporting live in Weirton, I'm Alex Taylor, News 9 Midday.
A drug raid in June turned up cash, drugs, and guns in Steubenville. Today, 4 people who were indicted following the raid appeared in front of a judge. According to the Jefferson County Drug Task Force, 6 guns, including one that was stolen, were confiscated during the raid on Clare Avenue. Investigators said a small amount of drugs was found, but the bigger concern was the 6 guns in the possession of some convicted criminals. More than $12,000 was collected and 5 people were arrested. Lester Jordan, John Sharp Jr., Elise Watts, Hakeem Herbert, and Richard Darnell Wilson. Hakeem Herbert is facing multiple counts of trafficking in drugs, having weapons while under disability, and receiving stolen property. This morning, he entered a plea of not guilty, and his $350,000 bond was continued. Lester Jordan is facing similar charges with an additional 5 counts of unlawful transaction in weapons. Jordan entered a plea of not guilty, and his bond was continued at $250,000 despite having no previous criminal record. John Sharp Jr. is also facing charges in drug trafficking, having weapons while under disability, and receiving stolen property, as well as a charge of obstructing official business. Sharp entered a plea of not guilty, and his bond remains at $250,000. Richard Wilson is facing the highest bond of the 4 defendants. It is set at $500,000. During the raid, Wilson allegedly attempted to run away from police. He was bit by a canine after being told to stop and was later taken to a Pittsburgh hospital. Wilson is facing charges of trafficking in drugs, having weapons under disability, obstructing official business, and receiving stolen property, and he also entered a plea of not guilty. The Hancock County Health Department is warning residents after a raccoon in the Kings Creek area of Weirton tested positive for rabies. You were warned to use extreme caution if a wild animal is displaying strange behavior. Do not pick up or feed stray or wild animals. Fasten trash can lids securely and be sure to vaccinate your pets against rabies. The dog warden was able to capture this particular raccoon when a resident reported its strange behavior and no one was hurt. Severe Weather Team 9 coverage now as we take a live look outside through the lens of our tower cam overlooking Moundsville. And we're going to turn things over to Severe Weather Team 9 meteorologist Jeff Exline for the full forecast now. Jeff.
Oh, thanks, Jessica. If you stepped outside today, you noticed it's a lot cooler. The humidity is lowering and there's also a nice breeze. So, hey, I'm giving you the heads up. Open up the windows. It's a lot more comfortable temperature outside. Not even at 70. We're in the upper 60s right now. Winds out of the west at 10 miles per hour. We're going to see some gusts upwards of 20, 25 miles per hour this afternoon. Now, in terms of rain, could there be a passing shower? Yeah, but if you see one, it's going to be brief. Nothing too heavy at all. Just a widely scattered shower chance this afternoon. As we look at your forecast, temperatures only get up in the lower 70s, breezy and cooler, also becoming less humid. Now, with a clearing sky tonight, look at the temperatures really dropping down. When you wake up tomorrow morning, I expect a lot of us to be in the 50s. Beautiful weather headed our way over the next few days. We'll take a look at the forecast for football games. Hard to believe we're kicking off the high school football season. Thursday, Friday games. That's coming up.
Head back to school with News 9. Students across the Ohio Valley are heading back to school, and we want to help you prepare. Today's a big day with more than 13 school districts heading back. We have Steubenville schools, Shadyside schools, Bel Air local, Brown local, Wheeling Central Catholic, Edison local schools, Hancock County schools, Indian Valley, St. Clairsville schools, Toronto City schools, Tuscarawas Valley, Union local schools. You are all back in session. And News 9's Kristen Toole is live in the studio with some advice for drivers this school year. Kristen.
Jessica, there are quite a few areas of concern when it comes to drivers out on the road when the school year begins. I spoke with the Weirton mayor and police chief, and they both had a few tips and reminders for drivers.
Those big yellow school buses are back on the roads in Hancock County, and police are reminding drivers to slow down, pay attention, and follow the rules.
It's time to be more alert that they're out there.
One of the biggest areas of concern in Weirton is Main Street, a 5-lane road that runs through Hancock and Brooke counties.
When the school bus stops on Main Street with its lights on, we have people not stopping in the opposite lanes. The code clearly reads, no matter how many lanes of traffic it is, you must stop for a school bus when the lights are out.
According to West Virginia code, drivers cannot proceed until the lights go out or the school bus driver waves drivers along.
They're not passing lanes, and many people try to pass in those lanes and even pass a school bus. And so we're going to be cracking down on those violations.
We're just encouraging all drivers from all states. If you're driving through Weirton, you must stop for the school bus.
Chief Alexander also adds drivers need to be extra careful around intersections, always come to a complete stop. And in school zones, the speed limit is a strict 15 miles per hour.
The school bus collects these kids when they gather at these intersections. So you get stop signs, speeding, slow down. We got guys out, we're really hitting the enforcement on stop signs and speeding in these zones.
And of course, the most important reminder for drivers.
For kids' sake, slow down.
And for any teenage drivers heading to school or parents picking up your kids, of course, be extra careful in those school parking lots. Reporting in the studio, Kristen Toole, News 9 Midday.
Back to school also means a new safety measure in Edison local schools. Some staff members have undergone extensive training and will be armed during the school day. The decision to arm staff was made last spring. I talked to the superintendent about what's happened since then to prepare the staff to protect the students. The signs posted at Edison Local say it all. They read, quote, "Please be aware that certain staff members in the Edison Local School District can be legally armed and may use whatever force is necessary to protect our students."
We just basically, want people, who are going to be coming into the building from the outside, that we do have armed staff members in the building, and if in the event if something happens that they can use force to make sure that everybody in the building is safe.
This school year, some staff members at Edison will carry concealed weapons in school buildings during school hours. Are you able to say how many staff members will be armed?
We have enough. We have enough to cover each of our buildings, so we will have, at least one armed staff member in each building.
That's in addition to the armed school resource officers in each building. Superintendent Bill Beatty tells me staff volunteers went through the intensive Faster Saves Lives training, which is a program specifically designed to prepare them to be armed in school. They've also undergone a mental evaluation.
I think the people that we have in place are good people, and they have good heads on their shoulders. And I think, unless we get, information otherwise, I'm very comfortable with who we have.
Those who will be armed will remain anonymous and weapons will be concealed at all times. The armed staff is just one of many safety measures in place. This year, the schools will also launch an app that will alert teachers to lockdown situations faster than in the past. We want to see how you are getting ready to go back to school, whether it's your student's first day of kindergarten, maybe they're headed to high school, anywhere in between. Head to our website, WTOV9.com/chime in, and that's where you can submit your back to school photos. And we have a few of them to share for today. First up, we have Linda Zonker in Coleraine, Ohio, sharing this picture of Tegan and Bradley. Tegan going into 7th grade, and we have Bradley going into 8th grade. Here we have Lori Rowand of Newell sending in this photo. It is of Chantal on her first day of school as a sophomore. So keep sending us their photos. We love seeing everybody getting ready to go back to school, and we'll keep featuring photos here on News 9. And now looking ahead to tomorrow, St. Mary's Central, Claymont schools, Conotton Valley schools, Harrison Hill schools, and New Philadelphia schools will be starting up for the school year. Good luck to everyone there as well. Coming up on News 9 Midday, steps are being taken for a new Justice Center facility in Harrison County. All of those details are straight ahead.
You are watching News 9 Midday with Bill Phillips, Jessica Haberly, and meteorologist Jeff Exline. This is News 9 Midday.